Scrappy Peeps, Suzanna here today to share with you my latest Scale It Down video. This month Simone and I are working with sketches, and we want to show you how we can use sketches in our traveler's notebooks. So that sketch there from Laura is what I translated here in my traveler's notebook. I have begun a new notebook. There's the sketch, and this new notebook that I began is about our spring break adventures. I am going to skip a couple of pages because I want to put a kind of an intro in, and before I put the intro in, I wanted to work on this. So this page is the beginning of our road trip, and I have interpreted this sketch that instead of using one large photo cut across 2 pages, I am going to use 2 4x3 photos. So I am going to here, I have this patterned paper from, I can't remember who this is from, but it's something I picked up from Tuesday morning, and I'm going to put this across both sides of the page. And what I found with putting papers across both sides is that you need to have a little bit of a seam in between. And while the white space in between drives me absolutely batty, it will drive you even less batty to have the papers rubbing against each other and pulling each other up. So I highly recommend you leave a good maybe almost 1/4 inch between the papers there. So I am going to also use a ripped strip in the sketch. There's a little bit of a scalloped border above that pattern paper. So I instead am going to use this navy. It's a leftover from a chenille collection, and I'm going to put that across both pages instead of that scalloped border. And that is going to be actually the background, the main background, the principal background behind these photos. My daughter is in pink, and so I am going to mount her photo with a small pink border around it. And my son is wearing green, and I'm going to mount his photo with a small green border behind it. So the pink is from Paige Evans, and this green is from Ellie's studio. And the reason you can see that I chose that background paper that I chose with the birds is because it incorporates both the pink and the blue, and then, the pink and the green, and then that navy ties those colors together and is kind of the uniting factor there. So the sketch calls for a doily on the left-hand side behind the photo. However, I don't like it there because the way I've decided to use these photos, there is free space to put the elements that are on top of the doily on my daughter's photo, but not on my son's photo. And to fix that situation, I could have put the photos in the opposite place, so my son on the right-hand page where my daughter is in reverse. However, I didn't want to do that because the way that the photos spread across the page is how I see them when I look back in the car, and I liked that there's almost unity in the photos and that you can see straight across that back row there. So that is how I'm going to take care of the single photo and how I'm going to take care of the sketch by reversing it just a little bit. So I do put the doily, and it does go across both pages. However, you can really only see it in that gap there minimally, and I think I'm actually going to end up cutting it out because it does kind of get torn up as you open and close the pages. And again, just as I said to you about how you need to have space between the paper that unites them, you also need to have space between those 2 photos, and you can't see it the way that the page lines up. So now I'm just going ahead and finishing the embellishments for this page. I had pre-cut these letters thinking that that's what I was going to use out of a navy, and the font is on that piece of paper. I don't remember what it was, but it's too heavy. And the thing about the font was that not only was it too heavy, but it covered up what the kids were doing. And part of the being on the road is the fact that my daughter literally read the whole 6 hours, and my son literally listened to music, i.e. watched Netflix for the whole 6 hours. So I kind of wanted you to be able to see that, and I'm going to end up changing the font there. So now I'm just layering up things behind and around the photo. This is pink that I thought might also draw everything together by putting these little banners, but what it does is it covers up that navy, which doesn't work for me because I really like the way that those little as those navy stripes are, they sort of tie everything in together there. So then I thought I'd try them there and just decided they were not necessary elements as part of my design. So I've chosen all the paper layers. Now it's time to ruffle through some embellishments that I pulled. So I pulled a bunch of embellishments that were either green, pink, or navy, and ideally that had something to do with nature, road tripping, something along those lines. I know somewhere in my stash I have little car icons. I cannot for the life of me find them, so I worked with what I could find. I pulled this from my mind's eye. It's actually pretty old. It's 2 or 3 years old maybe, for the hot pink elements, and I chose that hot pink heart. And I also pulled these embellishments from Pink Paisley, and I knew that they were going to come in handy. So you can see I've got that pink shield that says adventure with me next to my daughter, or it's not pink, it's green. And I like the way that I crossed the colors as well to unite the entire layout. So I've got that pink heart, and then it says play more and in green, and then on next to my daughter I've got the green embellishment, and I'm going to put a couple other pink things in there again to tie that together. That was a cute little bug sticker that I pulled out of the Pink Paisley sticker pack. And then there's some phrase stickers. These are see-through, and I thought that they would be cool on the picture, but there's really not much room left in the photo once I've put these elements near the side, so they're going to get tossed aside. These are some stickers from Pink Fresh Studio, and I'm going to end up putting this down the bottom right there. In that bottom right, it says make this moment count. They are good at making every moment count that they can use their digital devices that they can. These are new from Pink Fresh Studio. I have 2 packs of these because I can see that they are going to last me a lifetime. Well, they won't last me a lifetime, but I will want them to last me a lifetime, which is why I have 2 packs of these. The colors are fantastic, and I just love the way that that blue, again, it ties all of the colors together. These are letter stickers from Jilly Bean. They are my favorite, and again, I have 2 packs of these. I'm working my way through this first set, and they're perfect because they are much skinnier and end up working better on the layout, so you can see what the kids are doing, and they're not quite as in your face as the ones that I cut out on the silhouette there. I am going to off camera actually because I don't want a journal above on that white space. It just makes it too busy. It needs that white space above the photos. I am actually going to add a hidden pocket, which you will see in the close-ups. There was an Ellie Studio card top that I was fussing around with, and so I'm actually going to attach that to a Project Life card, which will give me space to journal, and the story is being told underneath the picture there. So this is the first of 2 sketches that Simone and I are going to share with you this month. Our next Grab 5 is actually going to be with our guest designer the first week in May. So be sure to come back in 2 weeks to see our second sketch. It's a sketch that I chose, and see how Simone and I interpret that. And again, it's a 12 by 12 sketch that can easily be converted to being used in a traveler's notebook. I'm just shifting things here a little because as I closed the book, I realized that the photos were too close to each other and I didn't want them to rub and have those issues. So I have a few close-ups that are coming. I hope you have enjoyed this process video. If so, all the thumbs up that you can share with me would be great. I understand if you didn't. I hope you are doing well. I hope you are learning a lot about traveler's notebooks and have been encouraged to keep coming back and learn some more. Thanks. I hope you're doing well. Take care.